Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. Me llamo TC. I was going to say, and I'm joined by, but I can't remember how to say that in Spanish. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Senor Big Randy. Sir.
Hola. Hola, TC. Great to be here. Good to be chopping it up again. I know you're going through it with the allergies, but it sounds like today might be a little bit better day for you.
Yeah, it's been a struggle this week. I'm kind of summoning it here today, but I am feeling better. I think I got the proper cocktail of steroidal nose sprays and Zyrtec and Allegra and all that stuff going. So no free ads. And we do want to thank Mr. Jeezy. Gracias, Senor Jeezy.
Yes.
And Mr. Eric Craw for that matter too.
Mr. Jeezy and EC himself.
Yeah.
No, that's good to hear, TC. You're a true warrior, and having known you for years and years now, I joke about it, but your allergies can get out of control, and I do feel sorry for you when this time of year and they get bad. So I'm thinking of you.
I mean, speaking of allergies, I feel like I'm gonna get allergies just from wearing this shirt, just from looking
That
at it.
could be all the pollen coming up into your nose.
I've
Yeah.
got the azalea collection from Rhoback on. We've got clean spring colors, fresh prints, like the one, if you're watching this podcast, the one that I'm currently wearing here. This one's a personal favorite that I bust out every spring. Randy, I can tell you the azaleas were popping when I
Woo.
was up in the Augusta Aiken area this past weekend. So just pieces that look right, whether you're hosting clients, playing in a member guest, or conducting highly strategic offsite planning, as I know you are wont to do.
Well,
Um,
and I believe you were up there playing in a member guest, so we
I
got a couple of
was,
these things covered.
yeah, Bunky and I. It was Pinewood Derby theme. Bunky, gave him some uh, props on the socials for making a white Bronco Pinewood Derby car. It was delightful. So, but Randy, it's still early spring too. It's chilly out there. So Highlands hoodie, no rogue drawstrings on that. Plenty of stretch, lightweight, warm enough. And then I saw there's a new vest out too. I was wearing the vest the other day.
I just got my hands on one, like a real thin, kind of thin
Yeah,
vest, just a real accessory piece, kind of, raise that core temperature a couple degrees. Yeah, it's
it's the
nice.
Brookline vest, Andy.
Okay.
So, yeah, all that you got lifestyle pieces, you got stuff for the kiddos for the whole women's line coming out as well. New sweater polo that just came out too. So, head to rhoback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use code DRAW for 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That's rhoback.com. And we thank them for their
We do.
erstwhile support of the Trap Draw podcast. Randy, I think we got to start with just some stuff that's been percolating lately. Thousands of people have tagged us in or seemingly thousands of people,
Tens of thousands, maybe
probably
millions
tens
at
of
this point.
dozens. People tagged us in the Poly Market Situation Room that released a couple, maybe a week or two ago. Listen, I don't like the monitoring and monitoring the situation thing being turned into a fucking meme. All right, like this is serious
No,
business,
when
and
we
we've been doing
began
it
this, yeah,
earnestly.
that's right. We no intended bit with this. We are very serious about needing and wanting to monitor as much as possible. And I'm with you. I hope people aren't thinking this is a big joke, because we dedicate our lives to this, TC.
Well, and
This ain't no hobby for us.
yeah, and evidently they thought it was a hobby or some sort of joke because I guess they ran into a bunch of technical issues there on Monday night with a bunch of the
Who's gonna
screens not working.
monitor who's gonna monitor the situation room?
We
That's
are. That's
yeah,
that's so they've just added that to our plate. Now we have to monitor that
right.
as
Right.
well. So, in other monitoring news, Randy, listen, we talked ad nauseum about the loss of all of the knowledge in my tabs. We don't have
Yes.
to, dive back in on that. But I do want to say, as part of the cleanup process from that, I moved from Safari to Chrome on my phone.
Okay.
I've been a Chrome guy for a while now, browser wise on the computer, on the laptop, but on the phone, I've been a Safari guy. I gotta say, man, pretty underwhelmed. The
Hmm.
Chrome experience on the phone is it's not intuitive. I don't know where certain stuff is. It doesn't auto like on the Athletic or Wall Street Journal, it doesn't auto load it, the like revert over to the app as well. It's just not a clean experience. I was wondering what you use.
Well, I've been through this exact situation, TC, and I started dabbling with DuckDuckGo.
Oh
Are
wow,
you
you're
fam
trying to
We're out in
stay
the
off the
nether.
reservation.
Yeah, we're out in the nether regions, and I found that to be, like, good in some respects. I think they take privacy very seriously. You can kinda get off the Google, Apple, just I feel like they've let their product quality slip through the years as they just really haven't had to continue being excellent in certain areas. So I wanted to give DuckDuckGo a try. The frustration for me, what I really like about, I guess it's Safari, is the reading list, ironically, and being able to quickly kind of tag something to put in the reading list, come back to it later. And I've managed to do that with DuckDuckGo, but it involves like a few more clicks and it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. And so that's like my one big drawback against it. But I don't know if you're searching, if you got an open mind, I would say give it a shot. You might like it, you might not, but
Yeah.
can't hurt anything.
Yeah, well, I think one of the other positives about going to Chrome was just everything was gonna be in that ecosystem from, we're a Google shop, courtesy of Neil, kind of across the board. I got YouTube
Right.
TV, like, Google's got their claws into me, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, I just find the Safari app to just be a heck of a lot more intuitive and yeah, better for monitoring, better for, like, the reading list, like you said, better for
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like Chrome just like, I've got too many tabs that are open that I don't even need these tabs open. Like, you know, I'm trying to cut down on my tabs, and it's leading me the other direction, which was
Yeah.
the opposite of why I went over there. So,
I
more to
know.
come.
I wish I had a better answer for you. I'm sure this is something the listenership can weigh in on and perhaps help us point us in a good direction.
Yeah. How was your March Madness visit? I'm sorry. So for the listeners, I tapped out. I was in the throes of the the allergy stuff. I went down to South Florida to play some golf for a day and a half down there, and I had to sit out the second round, the morning round. The day after, I had to sit out the round because I had such a bad migraine. We're down to
Sucks. I
Citrus
know.
Groves, and so that migraine continued on like through the weekend, through basically through like the middle of last week. So I didn't get to go with you and enjoy a cheesesteak with you and see the Red Hawks just hucking up air balls left and right. How was it?
Uh, yeah, the game, let's just get the result out of the way. Disappointing result. I think, in hindsight, Tennessee Volunteers, just a bit of a
It's a bad
nightmare matchup,
matchup.
yeah, for our Hawks. They had
It's
tons of
pretty
size,
physical.
defended the perimeter well. Yeah, played very physically. Not good. Listen, I still had a great time. TC, I had multiple people wondering, where you were, sad that you weren't in Philly. I ended up taking the last flight out of Denver on the game was on Friday, so I guess this was Thursday night. Got into
Yeah.
Philly right
On
around
United
midnight
or American?
on United. But I was it wasn't a cheap flight. I'll say that. I booked it 24 hours in advance once they won Wednesday night. I was looking at Southwest, I was looking at American, I was trying to hunt the best deal, but United ended up being the best bet. So I guess I say all that. I got in midnight Thursday night, first thing Friday. spent the night, met up with our mutual buddy Gavin at the Logan Hotel,
Okay.
kind of downtown Philly. That morning, we woke up, we walked. We were like 5-6 blocks from Rittenhouse Square, Rittenhouse Park, which is a nice little part of Philadelphia. We grabbed a coffee.
No relation to Kyle,
No
correct?
relation to our
Or our
old
friend Tim.
associate.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, Tim. But yeah, I think no relationship to Kyle either, your boy. And so it was a nice little morning. We had two more buddies, our buddies John and Drew, flying in Friday morning. And so we went down towards the arena. They have like this big bar that's kind of like a social hall with different food vendors and then just like different bars called Xfinity Live. That was where Miami had a little pregame gathering. And so
That was
just
actually
got to
why I didn't
chop it up.
come, because I knew
Yeah.
Brian Roberts probably had me blackballed from that place.
Yeah, you weren't welcome in a Comcast area. It was wonderful to chop it up with Miami fans. It just felt like a celebration, felt like a party. We, and I say we as Miami fans, I don't get to do this very often, go to March Madness games. And so it was just something I really wanted to go to. This was an unbelievably magic season for Miami, and I had not been able to get to a single game. And I just felt like I needed to pay tribute to this team that went 31-0 in the regular season. Their win against SMU in Dayton was tons of fun to watch on TV. And then, yeah, they ran into a tough Tennessee team, but Philly was great. I had plans to go to Angelo's, which was like the highest recommendation for cheesesteak. Just got into a
Dozens of
time
people,
crunch.
dozens of
Yeah.
people reaching out. And then they were saying there was a couple places there. They're like, don't you dare go to this other place. It's completely fraudulent poserville for there were like two or three places that everybody kept recommending without fail.
Okay. So my biggest regret is I didn't make it to Angelo's. It was just
Okay.
going to be too tight of timing, and I wanted to get down to the pregame event. I just wanted to maximize our time amongst the Miami crowd. Now I can report at this Xfinity Live venue, there was a Geno's cheesesteak. I think Pat and Geno's are the two most known cheesesteak shops in Philly.
Those might have been some of the ones that those ring a bell. They might be the ones that everybody was saying.
Yeah, and this was like a satellite location of Gina. Like I'm just not sure that this was. I hope this wasn't the representation of what you would get at their flagship location. It was a totally underwhelming cheesesteak. No hyperbole. Like I've had dozens and dozens of better cheesesteaks than what I
I get
got.
at Penn Station. I know you're a big Penn Station guy.
Penn Station's like the best cheesesteak. I'll even say the Jersey Mike's cheesesteak is a very tasty cheesesteak.
A
I
big
like that.
Kahuna cheesesteak.
Yeah. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. Not gonna lie. Yeah, went to the game. After the game, went back to the hotel, and then went
Did you go to any of the
over.
other games? Like, how
Well,
did the tickets work?
yeah, so there are 4 games, and it used to be back in the day you would just buy the whole day's worth of games, so you
Kind of
could
like a
go to all 4.
tennis like tournament where
Yeah,
you just buy a ticket to center court and you get to see everything that's going on that day.
yeah. And there are probably still options to do that. But our Miami game ticket was the second game of the first session. And
Okay.
so we were able to get in to the first game, which was Wright State versus Virginia, and ended up getting in there midway through the second half. And that was actually a good game, pretty tight game. Virginia ended up winning, but was rooting for Wright State. Felt good to support another Ohio mid-major school.
Wright State, wrong college, right?
That's right. But our tickets were not good for the evening session, so we had to clear out of the arena, and that's when we just went and had dinner, had some pops. I went to bed, and then I was on an 8 a.m. flight out the next morning. So I was up at 5:30 taking a car to the airport. I think I spent 30 hours total on the ground in Philadelphia, but it was a great time. Glad I did it. We missed you, TC. I told this woman Kendall I would shout her out on the chop session. Kendall is not a golf fan at all. I met her and her, I think, husband. I'm sorry if it's just a boyfriend, but she said, I actually find you guys, I can listen to you. I said, that's a huge compliment when people that don't like golf tell us that, like, oh, I can stand listening, having you
Yeah.
guys on. So shout out to Kendall. Shout out to everybody else I met, ran into a lot of NLU fans, which always tickles me. It just was good. So wish I could have spent more time in Philadelphia.
Any Jalen Hurts simps?
No, no. A couple people wondering, if we were meeting up with Big Dom, but did not see Big Dom, did not see Hertz. Trying to think of any other Philly people. Uh, didn't get any of that. I've still never really done the tourist thing around Philadelphia. I've never seen the Liberty Bell. I've never
Yeah.
done all that. I would like to get up at some point and like just do the touristy stuff around Philadelphia.
Philly's nice. I like Philly. The food scene in Philly's fire. They got some Latin restaurants that are exquisite. They got obviously the Italian going on, but I don't. I still, but to your point, I still don't feel like I've done Philly right. I've done trips into the city from the suburbs where like I've been staying out in the suburbs for a golf tournament or for playing golf, and I haven't really stayed in center city and
Yeah.
soaked it up for a few days. So
Yeah, it seems cool. Very walkable. It's not like oppressive or overwhelming like New York City can feel Manhattan. It's a little bit more maybe my speed. So yeah, happy to go to Philly.
yeah, except the airport's like a bus station.
It's not the nicest.
God, there walks. There's some long walks in there too. Long walks. So
I was happy to be flying United out of Philly. I think American, is that the big,
yeah,
are they
that's
more
their
of an American hub?
big hub.
Yeah.
Not a big
There
hub, but
was
hub.
I was also glad to be flying out early. It seemed like there was going to be some TSA long line situations that morning.
Yeah,
Might
that
be.
was like a little bit of the reason I was like, man, I do not feel good. This headache is just taking it out of me. And like, I don't want to be not so much the way there because Jax has been pretty like they've had their business handled here as far as TSA goes, even during the shutdown thing. But coming back, I was like, man, this seems like it could be a perfect storm of just
Yeah.
being being rough.
So yeah, I kind of got through. I mean, I was through by 6:30 a.m., but it was
Yeah.
the lines were starting to get beyond where they normally are. So I was happy about that. And then on the way home, TC, let me just tell you something exciting. Took the train from the Denver airport, took the train out to the stop closest to my house, and then I
As
did
one
something
does.
I've
Yeah.
never done before. Instead of getting picked
Walked.
up or calling a car, no, a little too far to walk. I hopped on the bus, and the bus got me, like 3 blocks from my house, and then I walked home. It was, God, I love public
Did you have to
transportation.
take a separate? Did you have to buy a separate ticket for the bus, or was it a
I
single
was
ticket?
Yeah, well, so this is what I learned. The Denver buses now have kind of like the ferries in Australia did. You
Oh,
just tap your card, so you don't
yeah.
really need a ticket. You just tap your card and tap it when you. I don't even think you tap it when you get off. I think it just, if you tap your card, it gives you like whatever the best bus ticket rate is,
Huh.
and then you just hop off. So I didn't need to buy a ticket. It was very smooth.
How about that?
Yeah. Chatted up the
Andy,
bus
just
driver for a couple minutes at the train station before we took off. I felt like I was, I felt like a just a guy in a big city.
how'd you get from the Philly airport down to the hotel? Did you take the subway? 'Cause
No, I
that's
should
always a
have.
highlight of going to
Yeah,
Philly is like that is the good thing about the airport. You can take the train from the
I
airport.
know. If it weren't midnight, I just didn't want to mess with all that at that time of day. So I ended up, and I usually like to just do a cab, like a proper cab, but I ended up doing an Uber, which I is
Randy,
like my
that's what I've
last
been doing the
resort.
cabs here in Jax. Whenever I land,
Yeah.
it's cheaper. Uh, Listen, are they more inconsistent? Yeah, but I've also had some pretty bad Uber experiences this year as
Right.
well. Like
And
even
they're
in
ready when you're ready,
yeah,
assuming there's
yeah.
not a huge
The
cab line,
only
which there never
friction that
is
I don't
anymore.
like is having to sit there and give them my card or do the payment
Yeah.
when it's time to get out. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, they're always there, and I don't have to wait 6 or 7 minutes. And yeah, so
I do kinda miss the days when you could just tell a cabbie the address, and he would have the institution or she would have the institutional knowledge of the city and not rely on our phone GPSs, but now it's like they're just plugging it into their
yeah.
own phone GPS.
Yeah. I believe that was called The Knowledge, Randy, just the
Yeah,
knowledge if we're, being honest
yeah,
about London and yeah, there's been all sorts written about that. All right, well, listen, we got a few mea culpas here.
we do,
Uh,
unfortunately.
a couple weeks since we last convened. I wanna own it just right off the bat here. I knew it in the moment. I should have said something in the moment. We were talking about Bakersfield and Bakersfield, California, and I called that the Inland Empire. Which, it's not the Inland Empire. I think it's like the breadbasket of America, or that, it's in the Central Valley there, but it's decidedly not San Bernardino, Riverside, or, other places that would be considered the Inland Empire, which is well south of, San Bernardino. So I own that,
Okay.
really bad mistake, hand up.
Well, speaking of really bad mistakes, TC, the listener squats to scratch. Let me know. This is going back a few weeks when we were talking about that B Dubs trial, the guy suing B Dubs for the boneless wings whole thing. Apparently, in his note to us, he said we both used the terms plaintiff and defendant improperly, which I feel like we've done before. I that might just be one that we issue a blanket mea culpa that extends indefinitely into the future. I didn't go back and listen to verify, so I'm taking squats to scratch at his word, and I won't speak for you, but I will issue a mea culpa for that.
Squats to scratch. Actually, on that B-dubs thing, we also got a note from people of like, why is it called why do you guys call it B-dubs?" And then I was like, "Wait, why do we call it B-dubs? Is
I
it's
think
just 2
BW3s. I think you just shortened
or sorry,
BW3s to B
BW3s.
Dubs.
Not sorry, not B-dubs,
Yeah.
BW3s." And people were like, why are there 3 things?" So I did some research, Randy. I never knew
Bu-
this.
is it
Um,
buffalo wings and oh yeah, what is it? I guess
it is, let's see here.
because
They've
there was
gone
always a
downhill.
buffalo wings and rings. Also, that was a different thing than B Dubs.
Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck. You know what Weck is?
No, WECK.
Yeah, WECK.
No, I have
It's like
no
a
idea.
it's like a sandwich. It's like the Weck in the original title refers to beef on Weck, a sandwich originally served at the restaurant. It's like a German style thing on a
Bring
Kaiser
that
roll.
back.
So we're right. It is,
Okay.
BW3s is yeah, because that was always the first time I ever saw it was at Miami. The one the one there.
I wonder why it's not B3Ws.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Great
Oof.
question.
Yeah, these are questions
I
of
also
grade.
said I don't know if I said this on the pod or on social, but the Afro Man trial, I said it was quote getting spicy when in actuality it got spicy since the trial had already concluded. Uh, and yeah, so hated that.
I think this is a big thing in Southwest Ohio,
It
which
is
I'm not sure we spent enough time just
dissecting it.
appreciating that Afro Man ended up in Adams County, which is pretty rural east of Cincinnati. I mean, not much to speak of out there.
Randy,
And
I've been to Adams County once, and that was when I was driving the Reds mobile around picking up all-star game ballots. We're trying to stuff the ballot box when I
yeah,
worked
I
for the
mean,
Reds.
it's just not a whole lot out there, and I'm fascinated how Afro Man ended up out there. But I
And
feel
that
like this
Afro
is
Man
a
is
big
is like
story.
the guy that's basically leading the crusade for like First Amendment rights.
Right, right. It, like, has totally I mean, it's just at this point, like, pimp stemping all over the Adams County Sheriff's Office, it seems like. It's
Incredible.
fabulous. I think it's fantastic. I
Uh, all right,
we stand with Afro Man in this
take me to
instance.
this. Is it Roe?
Oh, TC, I added this. I've lived 42 and a half years of my life. The wife and I were talking the other night, and I used the word row as in, like, so and so got in a row with
Yeah.
somebody, like a
Or
verbal
over something.
altercation. Yeah,
Yes.
right? And she
Yeah.
goes, "Actually, it's pronounced row." And I was like, "What?" Like, "No, no, it's not." She's like, "No, it is." I was like, "Huh?" So she started Googling all this, and I at first I thought, "Is this just like British people saying something with an accent and we're like all saying the same thing?" But
Yeah, because
TC,
Kat's
I
got some Kiwi in her, so we can't
right.
necessarily trust her on linguistic matters. Nor can we trust ourselves though either.
But
Mr. Gondola.
apparently it's 2 separate pronunciations for how you use the word, like
Whoa.
row being like I'm rowing a boat, sure, and then
PJ
I
Fleck.
guess it is pronounced row when you're talking about an altercation.
Wow.
Blew my mind, TC. I'd apologize to Kat. I'm here apologizing to everybody listening. Like, I had no idea. I had no idea these things.
How do you pronounce the restaurant? RAO. The Italian restaurant
Ray
in
isn't it like
Brooklyn, and then
Rayo's
they've got the or in,
or Row?
Manhattan, and then they've got the good,
All the pasta sauce?
pasta sauce that they're
Wildly overpriced now.
no, their bolognese sauce is ridiculously good.
So expensive though, isn't it like $12 a bottle?
No, it's like
I think it's a
6.99,
ton.
7.99.
Rayo's, I thought, which is
Yeah, I
like
thought it
we're
was
saying
Rao's
every
as
single
well,
letter. Yeah, but
which is
I don't know. Now I'm like, I'm not sure of anything anymore because I was like, "Row?" That just there's no way, but
it's
I think it
Rao's,
is.
right. Despite some confusion, it is not pronounced Rose or Rouse. All right, just that we can cover down on that. Speaking of mispronunciations, this was on the main pod, but I wanted to address it here. I said Stein City, South Africa. It's
Mm.
Stain City, South Africa. Stain. It's
You don't
kind of
want the Southern Guard to
pronunciation.
roll up on your
No,
ass.
no, yeah. And then it was Rangers fans that invaded the pitch after losing, not Celtic fans.
Is it Celtic
They're
or
in the
Celtic?
I think it's Celtic.
Okay.
The Glasgow Derby,
I like to
which
see that out of my Rangers. You know, we're not gonna stand for losing.
I've
We're
also
gonna
had a
put up
few
a
people
fight.
reach out and be like, "Hey, I think too highly of you guys to get caught up in the partisan nonsense of the Glasgow Derby."
We're
You
not
know,
really. We're not really.
I was like, "Yo, I don't give a shit about Scottish
Yeah.
soccer."
This is firmly tongue in cheek.
So, right, I think the story of the week last week was this professional cornhole player that got accused of murder.
Yeah.
Did this come across your
You're kind
desk?
of burying the lead here, TC. I don't
Well,
think
I
that's
am.
by it.
Yeah. This is in this guy's a resident of Maryland, but he was arrested in Charlottesville, Virginia, for murder, for the fatal shooting of a 27-year-old. And I guess this guy's a quadruple amputee.
Which, of course, just raises
A
every
lot of
question
questions.
imaginable. Professional cornhole player. Sure, I have questions there.
Yeah,
Shot somebody. uh, More questions
questions
raised.
there.
Apparently, he did this while driving. I'm just not sure how this all works, quite honestly. The guy's name, Dayton James Weber. Yeah, got it. Picked up, had like three people in the car. He picked up this one guy, was sitting in the front seat. They got into a verbal argument, and Dayton James Weber is accused of shooting him while driving, dumping his body on the side of the road. They eventually found him in Charlottesville, Virginia. TC, I don't know how any of this works. I don't. I'm just not privy to these things.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't try that hard to figure it out either. I saw like eventually ESPN picked this up. I didn't even know there was professional cornhole. I didn't even know what cornhole was until I got to Southwest Ohio to come to school. Now I feel like it's nationwide, but it's
Yeah.
kind of a Southwest Ohio thing, right? It kind of started.
Yeah, yeah. I think, and certainly being called cornhole, which that was always, you go some places in the country and they would wonder what we were talking about. Yeah, I think ESPN profiled him. I saw in 2023 they did this piece on him about overcoming obstacles. Which, listen, my guy has absolutely overcome obstacles. He he had a rare blood disorder as a newborn, and so they amputated parts of his arms and legs. And it's like, honestly, it's like inspiring that he rose up. He was a professional cornhole player, and now it's taken this really tragic, sad turn. But
Yeah, it didn't.
man, there have been some good jokes this week.
Some really good jokes. There's been some good jokes on X, the everything app lately. Kind of against all odds, I feel like.
That's
So
that's good. Yeah, you see, literally, I'm like, I don't know what else to add here. I mean, we'll keep an eye on maybe the trial and everything, but that's just a wild headline.
yeah, yeah, more to come there. I think we can. I think people were harkening back to the headless body in a topless bar. Uh, legendary New York Post headline. You know what I watched the other night? Actually, I watched I think it was on Netflix, the documentary on the Murdoch family, not the South Carolina, like the media mogul family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Fox, Fox News, all of that.
Rupert,
Yeah, Rupert and the gang, Lachlan, James.
did you learn anything?
I did. It was delightful. It's a great. Uh, I would like to know more about the original wife like had him set up the whole trust and everything like that. That was kind of the wanted more on her. She seemed like kind of an alpha. So
Okay.
anyway, we're way off track here.
Speaking of, good segue. I see our second story.
Oh yeah. This one, dude. I mean, all right, there was all this stuff about the Tiger DUI. I thought you guys handled it great on the show a couple nights ago, but this came across my desk, late last week. This is from the Wyoming Tribune Eagle. Man suspected of driving a train under the influence arrested in Cheyenne. So I thought this was just going to be kind of a 3-paragraph blurb about some sort of, hey, this guy tested positive during a random, alcohol or sobriety or drug test or something like that. No, it goes so much deeper. So this is IV Seacrest is the author here. This is in Cheyenne. Authorities have arrested a Union Pacific Railroad employee who is suspected of driving a train while under the influence of a controlled substance. Officers were called to the scene to respond to a reported fight between crew members. Laramie County Sheriff's deputies were later informed that the train's conductor, Parker Matthew, had barricaded himself inside the locomotive to escape the engineer, Christopher Richards. Though Richards was suspected of having driven the train while under the influence of a controlled substance, Wyoming's state DUI law exempts cars on rail,
Fascinating.
which is wild.
Yeah.
Instead, Richards was arrested Friday for misdemeanor reckless endangerment, being under the influence of a controlled substance, and interference with a peace officer. All suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty. It's not yet bound over to district court, nor has he entered a plea. But the court documents portion here. Let's see. Laramie Sheriff's Office was initially called to locomotive engine 6360 near mile marker 506 of the Union Pacific Railroad tracks at 3:53 p.m. Friday in reference to a report that two crew members on the train were fighting. Going into the barricade stuff, the one guy appeared disheveled. He observed bloodshot eyes, a length of rope being used as a belt, and appeared Richards had urinated twice in his pants throughout the incident. When Teeter spoke with Richards, he made a number of concerning statements regarding his condition and control of the locomotive, according to court documents. He claimed he was in full control of the locomotive during the trip, adding that at some point he had fallen asleep a little bit and possibly for the whole trip. Claimed to not know who stopped the train, though Matthew told Teeter that Richards had stopped the train. He also provided an inaccurate spelling of his name and an incorrect date of birth. Richards stated that he consumed several medications, including one equivalent to Ambien. When his bag was searched, law enforcement found multiple prescriptions, including a generic version of Ambien in his name. So
the engineer, there was a barricade situation I'm reading, and at first I thought this was the guy that was messed up, like barricaded himself.
yeah,
But apparently it's the opposite. The engineer barricaded himself in this compartment in which to call the authorities, and the conductor was like trying to force his way in.
yeah, and then the Richards exhibited. So who's the engineer? Exhibited erratic behavior throughout the trip. He talked about killing his cats, deceased family members, atomic bombs being placed on the train, and how his family could help him make a smaller version of a bomb that could fit on the locomotive. Yeah, just truly a
Oh, so the
wild.
conductor is Matthew, the engineer is
Yeah,
Richards.
correct.
Okay.
So it happened as expected
Okay.
there as well. But just the whole, this train is 12,755 feet long, and it weighs 16,000 tons, 127 loaded cars and 55 empty cars. It was also carrying hazardous materials. Shout out to everybody involved for nothing really, really bad happening. But I just thought that was an insane, like that sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of mixed with like underrated movie. You ever see that movie Switchback with Danny Glover and Dennis
I don't think I
Quaid?
have. No.
Oh, you got to watch that. It's awesome. It's a great action movie.
They're on a train?
Yeah, I haven't seen it for 10 or 15 years, but there's like a chase on a train and they're going through the mountains out west. It's really, really, it's high quality stuff. I think you'd enjoy it. It's not going to win an Oscar or anything like that, or it didn't win an Oscar or anything like that, but it's just, they don't make them like that anymore. We had the Cesar Chavez cancellation. He got canceled. That was tough.
That's hitting hard out here in Denver.
Really?
Big presence out here in Denver. Park, I think they've already announced they're going to rename this big park. There's a big building downtown named after him. Yeah, it's
probably Austin,
it's quickly
too.
it's quickly.
Cesar Chavez is like a massive street in Austin, right?
Yeah,
Side of town there.
Yeah, it's just interesting how quickly we can move to undo some of this for some people and not for other people. Like I'm thinking of like the Sackler family name, right? Or
Les
just
Wexner.
less right. It's just things that make you go, But yeah.
I believe Ohio State. Their hospitals named after him.
Yeah. It's
various other things. The football complex.
Yeah. But Caesar's not giving anybody in government any campaign funds, so I guess maybe that's one big reason.
Other cancellations include the metaverse. Metaverse got canceled.
This was tough on you.
This was tough on Neil.
Some things you just hear the first time and you're like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And I feel like that's how we felt about the metaverse. And our guy Zuck dropped what, $80 billion or so?
Yeah. Like he would have been better off building an indoor ski resort in Saudi Arabia. That also just got canceled.
Think about how many meats he could have smoked with $80 billion.
A lot of
I truly wonder, like, is there any type of recourse for shareholders? Like, can they bring, like, what a titanic waste of money. but
It's
I don't know.
crazy. What else? There was I saw the which cartel is this? I can't get my cartels straight. Nemesio El Mencho, his cartel, the Jalisco New Generation cartel. I guess his
Okay.
stepson is taking over. The Wall Street Journal had a big profile on this and about how he's a U.S. citizen, and so it's more complicated to target him versus
Mm.
a non-U.S. citizen.
I feel like that train left the station. Didn't Barry O kill an American citizen via
I think he
drone
did.
strike over
I
in the
think that
Middle
ri-
East?
I think that
Yeah,
rings a
that's
bell. Yeah,
I feel like there's a
I
little
also get the
precedent,
sense that like
unfortunately, there.
they're not positively identifying some of the people that are getting killed in these drone strikes on fast boats anyway.
Right.
So, Randy, do you see the thing about the food delivery robots smashing into Chicago, like bus station shelters where people walk? This could be you if you go to Chicago and take the L, and then you take a bus to,
Uh,
go get a hot dog or something.
yeah, I'm not sure I know the whole story. Where do
So
they,
there's
like,
these
smash the
robots,
glass,
like
just causing chaos?
yeah, they're like, I don't know how they're programmed, but they're like food delivery robots. I'm assuming they work for some subcontractor of Uber Eats or whatever. They just keep running into these glass bus stops, and
Ugh.
so that's a mess. And then there was a dancing robot that went nuts at a California hot pot restaurant, smashing dishes and sending chopsticks flying instead of doing the robot dance.
I love that. That's
This
that's
was this was
vastly
courtesy
more
of
entertaining
NBC.
than another rendition of the robot dance.
There was a whole if you if you click on the link, it's doing the
Yeah.
dance and everything. So they're restraining it, and then it and then it just starts going nuts. God, we
He's
live in a
wearing a he's
stupid
wearing
time.
a big bib that says, "I'm good," and they're God, this poor lady's trying to haul the robot oh my god.
There's
This
probably 2 or 3 times a week
this
where I
is
just I
such
just
a
get this
dumb timeline.
overarching sense of dread that, like, we are totally fucked.
Oh, I
Like, and it's gonna be quick too. Like, it's not even gonna
yeah,
take more than the next, 4 or 5 years. The way things
no.
are trending with the drones and the drone swarms and the AI and it's just bad.
Bad TC. I know the only thing I feel like I can do now is just joke about it, because if I really think too long about it, it just makes me upset.
Yeah.
It's not
Might
good.
have to get my own robot, like, personal defense robot. What else we got? We got 20 tons of spilled tofu on the interstate in Missouri.
I heard it was stinky. Stinky, stinky.
The stench of 20 tons of spilled tofu hits Missouri town like a brick wall. It's the New York Times. Uh, Headline: A truck careened into a ravine in Jerome, Missouri, leaving the tofu to stew for weeks.
For
It was
weeks.
worse than a landfill on a hot July day, said
Oh,
the general manager of
oh,
a towing company. Are
can't
you a
do it.
tofu guy?
No, it's a consistency thing for me, and this doesn't help. It's not yeah, it's not good.
There's a fried tofu dish that I like with this kind of brothy sauce that you dip it into, but it's got to be done just right. It's got to be fried just right. Did you see the massive Kit Kat heist?
I saw this headline, yeah, 12 metric tons of Kit Kat bars,
Yeah,
I think.
413,000 units of Kit Kat.
Somewhere where is this? Over in Europe. Somewhere, they don't know exactly where, but somewhere between Central Europe or Central Italy to Poland. Again, the same question we ask with all these gigantic food heists. Once you have the truck, I guess they stole the truck with all this. How do you unload this product? What do you do with it?
It's a great question. It's a great
I
question.
think that's the story I want to read.
Well, and then the thrust of this headline was how, it's in the Wall Street Journal. Nestle's response to the stolen chocolate shows how there's no bad news if you can turn it into a meme. And it shows all sorts of stuff. I know this really speaks to you. It shows all sorts of replies from like Domino's Pizza in the UK, issued an official statement. They would like to share their thoughts and condolences with Kit Kat. Ryanair, know you're a big Ryanair guy. They posted a meme of an airplane, one of their airplanes eating a bunch of Kit Kats, just all sorts of
So stupid.
zany stuff. I know you really like it when the brands get involved. And
Yeah. When the brands get animatronic, that's when I really get going.
just like the robot.
Yeah.
Randy with a bib on it says, "I'm good." Iceland trying to cool lava.
Yeah, what's the purpose here? What are we trying to do here?
They've got a chief lava cooler. This guy Helgi. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, so pre mea culpa. Helgi Horlifson, firefighter, but he's also a leader in national experiment to steer rivers of lava away from important sites. Some have called it crazy, but it worked. Um, and yeah, basically trying to slow the lava down and get it going in different directions so that it then, like, I feel like we've seen a movie about this, and it was called Volcano, and I think it was based in LA. This was like an early on, like a mid 90s action flick. Am I wrong?
No. Yeah. Sorry, TC. I'm a little distracted. I'm just receiving word via THG that Christy Noam, your girl, her husband, has there's this big piece about him cross-dressing and like taking photos with big fake boobs on. So sorry.
God, this episode is a disaster.
I can't concentrate. This is a lot going on. Sorry, the lava.
Oh, accused of living double life as crossdresser obsessed with bimbofication link.
Now you have me clicking into X through some of these, and I just saw an an MFK meme on Christy Noam with her husband and Corey Lewandowski and their dog. It's a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh man. What else we got? That's good content. Lil Kimmy continues to put out great content.
Oh, there was a sick photo of him. It really sounds like his daughter is going to be the one that takes over someday.
Yeah,
And
which
there was
I'm kind of liking her whole ethos and aesthetic and
sure.
yeah. He
There's a
he had a
picture of
hype
him.
video where he was snapping selfies with all these female soldiers that were doing like special operations themed dances and stuff. Yeah, I feel like, and then I think he gave the president of Russia, not Putin, but the other guy when he visited the other day, or maybe it was the Belarusian guy. He gave him this gun, but was inspecting it and all of this stuff. Lil Kimmy's been hot in the streets here
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah. Well, he and his daughter, the reason this is on our agenda, there's a fantastic picture of them riding a tank together. And I just, how cool. With a newborn daughter myself, one day now I dream that she and I can share a ride on a tank. That'd be very cool.
What else we got, Randy? There was a big impressionist heist at an Italian museum. Magic
Does this
Jeff
get you
sent this
going
over.
like the Louvre
Not quite. It
heist?
doesn't seem
Okay.
quite as romantic or quite as brazen. It's a
Okay.
3-minute heist. It was the Magnani Rocca Foundation outside of Parma, Italy. No word on if Coach Parm is involved. Um, Sounds like
They
he may
got
have his
run
own
by
thing going.
Belgium. I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw that.
I did see
Lost
that. Landon
5-2.
Donovan
Tough. Yeah.
calling out their spirit and motivation, which somehow some things never change.
Yeah, we've been
Um,
doing that for years.
but yeah, it looked like a Renoir, a Cezanne, and a Matisse were each
Mm.
stolen, but nothing. crazy about
Okay.
it. You know, not the gravitas of the Louvre or something of
Yeah.
that ilk.
Okay.
What else? Do you follow Fidel Castro's grandson on the
I, do,
gram?
I don't. I don't. Tell me what I'm missing.
You should. He's kind of an influencer down there, but they can't really figure him out. There was a whole New York Times profile on him and just how he's, like people can't tell if it's satire or if he's just a shithead. It seems like it's kind of
Sure.
both.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. I've been following everything down in Cuba pretty closely here lately. I saw the Russians, DT's letting the Russians send a tanker, so it's not full on collapse and humanitarian crisis down there. But I, don't
I,
know, I did just like a deep dive just on Havana last night, just on Google
mm.
Earth. Just like, what does Havana look like on satellite pictures and all of that? So,
Did you glean anything?
not really. It was interesting, but
Yeah.
I'd like to one day visit there.
Well, here's something to put on your radar, if I may. Uh, I actually just finished maybe a week or two ago. Uh, the Blowback is a podcast
Yeah,
group. THG had recommended this at
I
one
listened to the
point.
Angola one. I just finished
Okay,
that one like last week.
they have several seasons, and I don't know what attracted me, but I listened to the whole season 2 is on Cuba and really the Americans' history of intervention and so much other stuff on the island of Cuba. I found it illuminating. I found it very interesting. Obviously, a lot of stuff around the late 50s, the Bay of Pigs, the missile crisis. But it starts well before that, even with the Cuban Revolution and the rise of Castro and into today. So, would encourage you if you're looking for something to listen to. I would listen to it out on walks in the morning with the dog. But yeah, the current situation, I don't know, in the context of like America has essentially since the 50s, I think it was Eisenhower who initially put like the blockade or the embargo in place. And I know Obama, we tried to kind of normalize and open it up a little bit, but now we're back to full embargo. Yeah. Honestly, some of the reporting like out of hospitals there is like so tragic and sad. And
Yeah.
I just don't understand really what our goals are anymore with Cuba, but it's way above my pay grade. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
the whole Venezuelan angle because that was kind of propping them up. And yeah,
Yeah,
like it's truly one of those places where like I don't know what to think.
right.
I don't. It's like a brutally oppressive and shitty regime, but also yeah, it's just fascinating place, and it seems like probably a trip back in time too if you were to go there. It's
Yeah.
always kind of loomed large in my imagination. So
I always wanted to visit. I thought it'd be so much fun to go to Havana and go to a Cuban baseball game, right? But seems like that's doesn't seem like we're going to be doing that anytime soon, or I don't
yeah.
even know if in my lifetime anymore, which is just crazy to me.
God, I feel like this has just been a bleak episode. A lot of bleak stuff. And like all
TC, it's
the
kind of the world right now.
I feel like I feel like
It's
all the
tough.
stuff that we've made our hay on, like monitoring, it's just like all the stuff that everybody's talking about now.
It's like it's gotten too real.
Like the Strait of
Yeah.
Hormuz or
Yeah.
like it's like a Mad Lib the last year or two of just the Panama Canal and putting pressure on Panama, the shadow fleet, like all this stuff that we talked about kind of in passing of like, oh yeah, like this is going on too. May want to pay attention to it. Every single thing has been turned into some
It's all going to
mainstream
hell.
headline
Yeah.
news and current event. It's yeah, it's
Well,
pretty
we don't have
exhausting.
to keep dwelling, but I know we have another piece our buddy Charlie Warzel was working on. I feel like that ties in here. What it was in the Atlantic, I think.
Yeah, just you know how if AI, if this whole thing's a bubble, how it's just going to drag everything down with it from a finance. It's basically like the subprime mortgage crisis, but with chips and stuff
Yeah.
instead of all the tranched securities.
Sounds like private credit is maybe the tip
Canary
of
in the
the
coal
iceberg
mine.
here, the canary in the coal mine.
Your
I
guys
think
at Blue Owl and
if we're gonna
Apollo.
monitor something, I think we need to be monitoring the private credit
Yeah.
markets, it sounds like.
Charlie
Yeah.
actually had a good podcast lately too with the guy that started the Dark Sky weather app, which I used back in the day, and then Apple bought them, and then basically shut it down, and then ruined the
Same old story.
Apple like doesn't have any pride in anything. Like
It
they
seems like we've given up, yeah, whatever Apple was in the 90s and early 2000s, it's not that anymore.
yeah, like Tim Cook seems like he might be a legitimately like just
It just seems
really
craven.
yeah,
Like it really
craven,
does.
like apathetic guy as it
Yeah.
relates to their OG kind of mission there. Randy, in good news, I did like seeing these social media companies or these tech companies lose a couple of these jury trials last
Oh,
week.
me too, TC. If I know people were calling it, is this the cigarette moment of, or the big tobacco moment of our generation? Would be fascinating. I guess we should tell the people, yeah, a couple of juries went against, I think it was Google and Meta, I believe, for Instagram specifically, and I I don't know what the Google part of it was, but essentially knowing that they're hooking, in this case, teenage girls on their product, doing everything they can to make it addictive, consume their attention, to the detriment, the health and well-being, certainly mentally, of these people. And so a jury found in favor of the young woman who sued. And I feel at some point we're going to have a reckoning with social media as a society, and just what it is, what it's doing to us, what we want it to be. It feels a long way off, but maybe this can be the start of something, would be my
Yeah,
optimistic hope.
that's well said. Yeah, I don't know. And like even just seeing like do you see where Claude the Anthropic thing adjusted 5-hour session limits for most subscribers during like peak hours?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're trying to get everybody to come over and use this stuff, but then you're going to start throttling it already. It just seems like such a
And I don't
I
know
don't
if
know.
that's like part of this bubble people are talking about. Like they're gonna have to start making money at some point. Is
Yeah.
this are they on the road to just trying to hook people into paying? I don't know. Yeah, I don't use Claude. I don't. I realize that you can do some good and cool stuff with it. I've been very resistant to dive into that world. TC, quite honestly,
Do you use anything? Like, how do you?
no. I don't think so. No.
No, in fact, like a
I
legit
do use
question, like not a
Siri. On
gotcha.
my iPhone. I use
Yeah,
Siri to like set timers and set alarms and turn on and off do not disturb.
it's funny. I've never used Siri before.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of all of this shit.
But like
Uh,
I don't like, I know Claude, but I've never used Chat GPT. My wife uses Chat GPT a lot.
no, my
So it's
wife
not
doesn't.
like we don't use it in the family, but
Even just like searching something, I like googling something and then like finding the answer on my own instead of using that summary.
right. Now you get like the Gemini summary of
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I
just
don't know.
I
People are
don't
gonna
know.
call us the olds or whatever.
I know. And that's I recognize that, but I don't know, man.
Let's thank our second sponsor for today's pod, and that's Gruns. Randy, uh,
Speaking of something healthy, good you can do for
exactly,
yourself.
exactly. Travel makes it easy to fall off your wellness routine. I am kind of exhibit A for that. Um, Airports, hotel rooms, you know, bad seats on flights, all that stuff. Not exactly ideal for powders, complicated supplement stacks. I need something that fits into my bag without slowing me down or kind of having to just dump it in and swirl it with something. So that's where Gruns comes in. They're like little gummies. They come in little, I don't know, bite-sized packs. It looks like a pack of fruit snacks, basically. And it's convenient, comprehensive formula packed into a snack pack of gummies a day. It's not a multivitamin, greens gummy, or prebiotic. It's all of those things. And I've noticed it like, I like eating them. They taste delicious. They're just like fun to eat. But also, like, I don't know, I feel like things are moving better
Keeps you
when I take
regular.
these things.
Yeah, the trains are running on time.
Yeah, 20 plus vitamins, minerals, 60 ingredients, which include nutrient dense and whole foods, low sugar or sugar free options as well. So they've got 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is 3 times the amount of dietary fiber compared to leading greens, powders, and more than 2 cups of broccoli. So save up to 52% with code NLU at gruns.co. That's gruns.co. That's code NLU there. So substantial discount. And I would say, yeah, I'm always one that's like leery of supplements and I don't know, just stuff to take. And this has been a pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. Like, all right, I see the benefit here, and then there's probably a bunch more benefits I'm not seeing.
I'll say this,
Not going to
definitely
pay into.
easier. Definitely easier working the routine, not having to mix with water or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I do really appreciate that part of it. Yeah.
yeah. This is something my wife's been buying them for a couple years, so this is something that's been in our household for whether I knew it or not for a while. So
Kind of like AI and me.
yeah, right. Uh, Randy, the McDonald's CEO got cooked again.
Oh, and I saw
Uh,
he's clapping back.
he's clapping back. Yeah, Wendy's was coming at him this time. This is your Indian Hill, Slender Man, lizard person guy. But
What's
yeah,
the guy's name?
it's Chris something, right? So basically, Wendy's keeps coming at him for buttoning his top button,
Chris
and
Kempczynski.
he said, they said, who buttons the top button? He said, stay in your lane. You're worried about buttons while we're running a global operation and actually serving customers. Focus on fixing your own menu before commenting on ours. We're not the same. And then
I
they said another time, did mommy button up the top button for you? He said, funny coming from a brand that's built its whole personality off tweets instead of food. Randy, again, back to the brands. Just trying
yeah.
to get shippy with it. You're worried about buttons. We're focused on serving billions daily. Stay in your lane and keep tweeting. We'll keep running the industry.
Okay, so I'm our guy Chris Kempczynski. First of all, where do you stand in Wendy's v McDonald's?
I think Wendy's has gone. I don't think I've eaten at a Wendy's in like a decade. I don't eat at McDonald's all that often, but I'll have a 10 pack of chicken McNuggets every once in a while, and some fries. I mean, I don't feel horrible and it's just not a good situation for the next day or two after that. But I feel like Wendy's, like there was this whole millennial or even what is it, Gen Z or whatever we call them. The whole like, wait, Wendy's used to serve baked potatoes and have a salad bar or an Italian bar. I'm like, yeah, like Wendy's used to
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah. They had a potato, but yeah. So Wendy's has definitely slipped. You're exactly right. But I think breakfast, I enjoy a good egg McMuffin from McDonald's. I do. I will go to McDonald's for breakfast. But anytime we're out on the road and it's like you just need a quick burger and you got your usual suspects, I Wendy's is still top of my list for a
Yeah.
burger.
I would say I think I've just branched beyond burgers at fast food restaurant. Like it's more like if I'm gonna have a burger, I'll drive a little bit farther and go to Five Guys or Shake Shack or something like that. And I don't think
Culver's.
you consider that a fast food, right? That's fast casual, I think.
Yeah. I think Culver's would be fast. I always think like anything with a drive-through, I consider
Yeah.
fast food. And
Freddy's,
so
like Freddy's does a good burger.
I've never been to a Freddy's. There's also a place out here in Denver called Good Times, which is just like a burger and I think frozen custard maybe. And I've never tried that out here
See, I can't
either.
do custard. It's just too thick.
Yeah, I mean Chick-fil-A is always a go-to.
Yeah,
Good
see,
good chicken sandwich.
I'm a cool rap guy at Chick-fil-A. I like their fries.
Do you
Obviously,
ever
I like their
do?
chicken noodle soup. Love their chicken
Do
noodle soup.
do you ever do Whataburger? That's on with Wendy's too. I do eat their chili
Yeah,
from time
it's
to
true.
time.
There's a Whataburger here in Jack's, not too far from us. I'm
I
told
never went to it.
the
Yeah, I've
commish
never.
used to rave about their breakfast. I've never had it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna drive farther for a Whataburger. Yeah, it's kind of
This
a
this McDonald's CEO, I was curious how old he was. So he graduated from Indian Hill in 1987. So 15 years before me. So I would not have crossed paths. But I am reading his mother. I don't know the years, but his mother was a grade school teacher at Terrace Park Elementary, TC. So, if she had a long career, I'm sure some of my friends probably had her as a teacher, which is wild.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's do some. I think we've kind of covered down on everything we need to cover down. Oh, there was a really good piece about the North Rim fire of the Grand Canyon that I was reading. It just got me thinking. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. Have you ever been to the Grand
I
Canyon?
No, have just flown over it. We got close. I shouldn't say close. I've been in and around Arizona, but I've never really been close. I've never been like, oh, we're driving, we
Yeah.
can pull off to the Grand Canyon. But
Yeah, I
it's
guess
amazing to fly over. I got to think it's just spectacular in person too.
I need to just go do all those, like do it in the shoulder season one year when it's not overrun, but go do, you know, Grand Canyon. What's the one? Joshua Tree,
Yeah, I'd
Arches.
like to do
Just go
that.
do all that stuff
Yeah,
sometime. So
I know. There's like a mega road trip out here in the West that I would love to do someday. Rent a. Actually, that's my problem. Is like I actually wouldn't want to stay in a camper for that long,
let's
but
go.
there is a trip where you can just kind of drive out west. Start in Denver and go north up to like Vancouver, Seattle, come down south, make like a big loop. I think would be fun in a lot of respects, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I could live in a camper van for that long. I know I couldn't.
It's somebody who listened to, I can't remember what pod it was, who reached out with all sorts of Olympic Peninsula wrecks. Because I've talked about like I really want to go to Olympic National Park at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just nice person that reached out with all sorts of wrecks, just like the person that reached out wanted to send us rocks from the Earth's core.
Oh, big news! I got him.
Oh, you got him? Oh shit!
Yeah. Our guy Chris, let me hold one up here for you. I got next time I see you, TC. I got your rock. Uh,
You be able to get that through TSA?
if anybody's watching the
Sick.
stream, yeah, man. 200, I think 200 kilometers in the earth, these things were, which is like 124 miles down.
How'd they get them out?
They drilled down there and got them, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Also, a lot of swag from the Syracuse University Earth and Environmental Sciences department. If you're in need of like any extra bags or anything,
I think
he
I'm
sent
pro
some swag along.
Syracuse. I
Yeah.
think Syracuse should be a powerhouse athletic program.
I think Syracuse really messed up when they left the Big East. Like they are just synonymous with the Big East. I think they should be
They're
in
an
a Big East.
afterthought
If
for the
there is a Big
NCAA.
East conference, Syracuse should be in it.
Where I feel like Syracuse would have even been better in the Big Ten as it relates to like all the other sports, and then just be a Big East. Yeah, I don't know. I struggle. The ACC is just so. I mean, they're all taped together at this point, but
Yeah.
maybe that'll be a good thing for Syracuse down the line when everything breaks apart and they can get their basketball team back in the same thing. Oh, Randy, I ran into an acquaintance of ours, big Xavier basketball supporter, booster. He said that they purposely chose not to spend their NIL money in the first
Okay.
year of Crypt Keeper Junior's tenure. Like they're gonna go ham this offseason, I guess. They got a money
What's
gun.
what the problem is Richard Pitino is still your
That
coach.
was
Did
my
he?
that was my
Yeah.
clapback too. I was like, Richard Pitino is still coaching him.
Yeah. Interesting, TC. Hmm.
So, and I don't know. I don't think that solves the enrollment issues that are going on at Xavier
No, there's
among
some
other teams.
bigger university-wide issues they
Yeah.
got going on.
Who's your pick to win Final Four?
I have Illinois in my bracket, so I'm looking really good right now, TC.
Who's
If
left? I haven't really watched the last. I've been going to
so
bed really
Duke
early.
lost. Duke lost on a buzzer beater. Fantastic to UConn. It's the second
I
year in a
did see
row.
the UConn coach, that psychopath.
He's a total
How does
weirdo.
he not get
Yeah.
run for that?
Dan Hurley. Well, it was like after that. Who knows? I don't know. He's a complete psycho. Uh I love to watch Duke. I think they were, what was the stat they showed in the history of the NCAA tournament? One seeds who led by 15 or more points at halftime were 134-0 or something, and Duke is the first team to lose. And this comes on the heels of last year. They blew a huge second half lead to Houston, melted down late and lost. So very delicious stuff. So you got UConn versus Illinois in one semifinal, and then Arizona versus Michigan in the other semifinal. A lot of people think the Arizona Michigan game is pretty much the national championship game, but we shall see.
So we're down to 4. It's not 8
We're
anymore.
down to 4. Yeah.
Gotcha.
2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, and a 3 seed.
Okay.
Illinois has a big infusion of Eastern European kids, if that interests you at all, including Peja Stojakovic's son.
Ooh. Big
But they have like
Stojakovic.
5, I don't know if they're Serbian, Croatian, but they have opened a recruiting pipeline to Eastern Europe, which is
Speaking of
interesting.
Peja Stojakovic, how are your Kings doing?
Oh, miserable. Absolutely miserable. I think I've watched maybe 5 games of theirs this year. I mean, they're just clearly, they want to lose as many games as possible. It sucks.
Yeah. All right, going back real quick, the Illinois, they have some pretty self-righteous fans too. I don't know if I can get on the Illinois bandwagon.
Yeah. I've never been
Illinois basketball.
I've never had tremendous exposure to Illinois fans, so I'm a little bit, I guess, isolated from that, or I just don't know how bad they can be. But I really like their point guard. He's a freshman, Keaton Wagler, who's going to be a
Good name.
top 5 pick probably in the NBA draft. And then they have these all these dudes from Serbia and Croatia, which I think is fun. But
Yeah.
of
Okay.
all the teams left, my goal with picking the bracket, I almost try to pick the team I like the most, who I also don't think a lot of other people will pick, and so that's why I landed on Illinois this year, which has
I'll take
served
some
me well
literature.
up to this point.
They might be because I mean, speaking of arrogance, Michigan, I don't dislike Michigan. I was glad Purdue got bounced. They play
Yeah.
such an unseemly brand of basketball,
Yeah,
flopping everywhere and shit.
actually,
Going back
you
to
may remember
NBA.
this name. Sorry, real quick. I think he was around. Do you remember the Miami basketball player Adam Fletcher, big
Yeah,
white guy?
yeah.
He's the strength and conditioning coach on Illinois men's basketball.
I think he was like a Cincinnati GCL guy. Maybe.
I forget where he grew up,
I don't
but
know. There was a lot of big white
neither
guys
here
on the
nor
Miami
there.
team.
Yeah. Yes.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
Speaking of NBA, what's your Where do you fall out on all the tanking stuff?
I hate it.
How do you
I hate
fix
it.
it though? Like, I guess
Uh,
Silver's got some ideas, and he's
yeah, I already had sent 3 different proposals out to the owners. I mean, I've listened to people say the only real way to fix it is to get rid of the draft and just have free
yeah.
agency for everybody,
What about getting
straight
rid of
out
the
of college.
lottery?
I yeah, I like getting rid of I think
Or
that
just
was one of
everybody has
Silver's.
equal odds in the lottery?
Yeah, I think that was one of Silver's proposals was, like, everybody that misses the playoffs entirely, and then the losers from the play-in tournament, they get equal odds for the number 1 pick, and then you're slotted like, the true playoff teams then are slotted by their. I mean, I would definitely be for something like that. I would just be for anything that gets away from I just think it's not sporting, it's unseemly, it's against everything that people like about sports. I think it's really atrocious.
Yeah. I also don't blame the teams that do it.
No, I mean, they're
You gotta fix
incentivized
the
in a
rules.
way.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
Jazz. Like,
yeah.
you know, my Jazz they're doing it well, right?
What they're kind of in it's like, well, okay, when are you gonna you guys been tanking a while. When are we actually gonna start trying to win?
Yeah.
I think is what people are thinking for the Jazz.
Baseball started up.
Yeah,
Any How'd you feel about your Seamsters over under picks?
I was pissed I didn't challenge DJ on the Reds. That was the one that he brought him up first. I just wasn't
You
caught me
weren't
a little off
you weren't
guard.
fired up yet. You weren't lubed up yet that
No. I will say Solly, Solly's in my text just lamenting the great man Tito's actions through the first weekend. I'm like, they ended up winning
talking
2 or
about
3
it, you would
against
think they're gonna
Boston.
lose 100 games every
I
year.
know. I know. So I
Meanwhile,
just
you
I
know,
gotta get my guy calmed down a little bit, taking a broad perspective.
meanwhile, he's sweating Matt McLean and Sal
My guy
Stewart.
Sal Stewart, your guy Sal Stewart.
Yeah,
How about the start he's on?
he's a killer, you
He's
know?
good. I
Listen,
really
I got
like Sal Stewart.
prospects on my fantasy squad, all the prospects in the world.
Yeah. I heard from some folks in the Metroplex. I stood up for the Texas Rangers. I took the over. People were appreciative of that. Seattle fans, I were not happy. I think we were all on the Seattle under. They're not happy about that, but yeah,
Yeah. My guy, Jack Leiter spun a gem last night.
it's just
Um,
great to have baseball back. God, it's
yeah.
good to have it back.
I'm trying to construct a roster of just all pitchers that have had Tommy John, like reconstructive elbow surgery and or Japanese guys. Uh,
Yeah,
and then I've got too much hitting. So, you know,
these are
eh,
good problems to have,
yeah,
TC.
exactly.
Well, if you're
Um,
looking to unload salad anytime, please
yeah,
give me a call before you do.
yeah,
Let me match or beat anything.
I will. Um, I think, yeah, and then even like air travel wise, it's just not fun stuff to talk about, like that fire truck collision with
Oh, awful.
the
Yeah.
Air Canada plane. That was awful. And then the Air Canada CEO had to step down or chose to step down after because he wasn't speaking French fluently in the statement, which was kind of I got a chuckle out of that one. Very Canadian.
Yeah.
There's some rumors out there, Randy, that Southwest is potentially fat shaming plus sized flyers.
I did. I clicked on this article. Yeah. Interesting.
This was in the Times. It said plus size flyers once loved Southwest. Now they say it's fat shaming. Since the airline changed its policy on larger passengers this year, travelers say agents have publicly scrutinized their bodies and made them buy extra seats.
It's really,
Which
I mean, I think we all knew this the day it was announced that private equity was buying Southwest, but like the Southwest, any charm
not
or
buying Southwest, but
originality.
applying pressure. Elliott Management, activist
Yeah.
investor.
Southwest is any other airline now, I think, in terms of all of this
Totally.
stuff. Yeah.
Totally. But I would also argue I didn't like flying Southwest before. I might be pro Southwest based on
Yeah.
like, I never checked in prior before. I don't it
Yeah.
just wasn't a serious operation, it didn't seem like over the last like, I liked Southwest 15 years ago,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with, like, if we're buying real estate on an airplane, and if you can't stay in that real estate, maybe you gotta buy a second seat.
Well, TC, what are they gonna come for the tall people next? If I can't control where my knees are in
No,
these
I don't think
tiny
that's
ass
an
seats?
issue. You're already I mean, that would be you buying extra leg room, not extra which you're kind of
Yeah.
forced to do anyway.
Yeah.
That's already codified and
Yeah.
formalized, right?
Yeah. I just think I just wonder if I stand with
Versus if you're
our
if you're a GBFP and you're spilling all over the armrests, like that's I don't know, that's just not fair to whoever you're sitting next to.
no, it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky. That's for sure. In other news, Delta shut down their specialty services desk for members of Congress till the
This is
shutdown
good.
is over. I
Yeah,
I
this
really
is good.
appreciated that from Bastion.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's my guy, but I did appreciate that. There's
Yeah.
starting to be a lot more rumblings of like United, like holy shit, they have closed the gap in a big way, and Delta's really just financialized this thing and taking their foot off the gas on the operational side of things. Talked to several Delta employees saying that. Yeah, just generally speaking, I'm very curious there. Randy, United had a big media day the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
You were hot and bothered about a few things. You were excited.
Oh yeah, well, and yeah, I caught up on the Air Show podcast. Listened to like 8 episodes of that on my drive home from South Carolina the other day. They were keeping me up to speed on that stuff. They've got the new Coastliner plane coming in. They've got these 787-9s with the new Polaris interior and the like a little mini first class cabin up front. Polaris Studios. I truly think the A321 XLR is going to revolutionize international golf travel for places like Dornick
Yeah, I remember
or
you saying that.
certain parts of Ireland or yeah, like I think that's going to be cool.
Are
Um,
no, are any of those when do those become operational?
like in the next month or so, I think they're putting
Okay.
them. They're starting to take delivery on the XLRs. Not for like they're just starting to take delivery of those. The Neos that they have like the narrow body business class on those. Those will probably be rolling
I
out
think I
here as we move
flew a
forward.
Neo. I think I was on a Neo. That was my Denver to Philly last week
That's
was
probably the nice, and
was
that's
the
the
Neo,
nice new first class
I
and
think.
nice
Yeah.
big screens and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
A nice
yeah.
airplane.
So
Yeah,
I
so they
love the
got
A320s. That's always been my preferred over the 737 or something.
yeah, and then you get the Starlink going, you get the I don't know, man. They're doing. I guess they've come to a new um, potential agreement with the flight attendants, a new labor contract
It's
on
good.
that front.
Take
They're
care of our
fixing the
flight
catering,
attendants.
hopefully. I did see they were ushering some of the Premier 1Ks and global services through TSA out of
Oh,
Houston.
people don't like that.
Like
No,
had their
that's not
own thing. Yeah. So all things considered, I don't know. I think things are.
and they might be doing the sky couches, right?
Oh,
You
the
said?
relax row. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which that's been a staple on Air New Zealand for
which I
like
have one
close
booked
to a
for later
decade.
this year.
So you
Yeah,
book
we're
so to catch people, you book 3 seats in
yeah, you gotta
economy.
book 3 seats. Yeah. I was going through booking, and then it was like, "Hey, we have a sky couch available," and so I was like, "Ooh, let me take a look at that." Now, the only thing that's a
They
bit of a
upsold you.
drawback, we're taking the daughter to go meet her New Zealand family for
Mhm.
the first time this winter, and I guess the only drawback with getting the sky couch is I'm essentially paying for a seat for her now, which before I could have done like infant in
Yeah.
lap or whatever, but it wasn't like a full, it's not like a crazy expensive add-on, I guess. And the
Also, I don't
novelty of it, I
I guess
want
you
to
could have
check
gotten a
out.
bassinet instead, right? Like, they would have given you
Yeah,
a
something like
bassinet
that.
in bulkhead,
Which we're
but
going there on Air New Zealand, and we're coming home on Delta. And I did request the bassinet with with Delta, so I'll have a good comparison
okay.
with little kid travel on a couple
God,
different carriers.
it's gonna be fascinating.
Could be the worst experience of my life. I
How
don't
old will
know.
she be at that point?
She'll be
9
we're
months, 10
going end of
months?
November, so yeah, she'll be like 10 months or so.
God. God have mercy on your
Could be
soul.
bad. Yeah, could be bad.
Uh, last thing, we'll do an NFL draft episode here coming up. Um, kind of preview things, maybe get Ballnor Nate on, maybe Ballnor, Sensei Bob, somebody like
Sensei
that. But
Bob. Yeah.
any anybody you want to put your name on, or even free agency wise, anybody that's still hanging out there that you got any NFL takes for me?
Wish I had some better ones. I not necessarily free agency. Curious with the draft, uh, specifically Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain, guys I think the Bengals would absolutely love to target if any of them are available at 10. And if not, what the Bengals do, or could we see them perhaps try to trade back? I don't know. I'm not as familiar with the wide receivers this year. I feel like I've been slipping a little bit on my wide receiver knowledge coming out of college, TC.
This
I know
Lemon
that,
guy seems like a
yeah, the
total
Lemon and the Ohio
weirdo.
State kid, Arnell
Carnell
Tate, I
Tate,
think are the two
yeah,
highly rated ones, but I
kid
don't I
from
don't have
Jordan
strong
Tyson
opinion.
from Arizona,
Yeah. I
KC
don't know if there are any,
Concepcion.
like,
Yeah,
are there any true freaks out there? It
I
doesn't
don't.
seem like it this
Seems
year.
like the true freak might be that Sadiq, the tight end from
The
Oregon.
Oregon kid.
I guess it's also like a super deep tight end draft. Like,
Yeah, they say there's a lot of, I feel like that's just the way football's going. I don't I feel like that's just gonna be kind of the case,
yeah.
but
I don't know how I feel about like watching Arvell Reese. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's ridiculous. But then also, he seems kind of like everybody's making a big deal out of his lack of bend in his workout versus like a Ruben
love
Bain,
that.
say.
This
I
is
know
where
you're a
we
big
need
bend
Pooch.
guy,
Why
elite
not? This is
bend.
where we gotta get Pooch in here.
Well, I mean, Push has to be thrilled. The Niners signing Mevins and then bringing in Christian Kirk solidified
Mevins
that
is a
room.
great signing. I mean, if
That's
he's
killer.
healthy, right? Yeah. If I feel like going to a cursed franchise like the Niners when it comes to health,
Well,
that
the
might not
Niners, I
be
guess they brought in
the thing.
a couple doctors and specialists about the power station.
Oh, they
Nothing
say
there.
nothing to see here.
Nothing to
Yeah.
see there.
Yeah. That's a
So,
relief.
yeah.
I can't believe some of the, I think this is the time of year everybody's trying to talk themselves into some quarterbacks, like the Alabama kid, Ty
I
Simpson.
think I'm in on him.
Really?
Yeah, I think I am.
I was gonna say, like, in no world do I spend a
I
first
don't
round
like
pick on
yeah,
this
I
guy.
like him at the end of the round or maybe beginning of the second, but I don't think the gulf between him and Mendoza is crazy.
Yeah, and I
It's
don't even, I have some character concerns around Mendoza, but I,
yeah,
yeah, I am excited for the draft. I
I love
enjoy the draft. Do you like how it's now been separated out over 3 days, like with a few years worth of uh, examples now? Do you like how they've kind of changed with the first round being its own thing?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I like what it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday is second and third, and Saturday is the rest.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I believe
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
like
Yeah,
it. Although I used to, yeah, like it takes a little bit of energy to ramp back up in the second round. Like the best time of the draft was start of the second round. You're getting a bunch of those guys trying to trade back up into the beginning
right.
there. So it's a little bit of like an energy stopper, but at the same time, I like I like when they go to a different city. I think that's a fun
I
wrinkle
do too. Yeah.
as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I've just always been a draft guy, a draft Nick. I think I'm gonna be out of town, out of the
Oh,
country for the draft this year, which is kind of a tragedy. But also maybe that, maybe I can wake up and grind early on what happened the night before and be ahead of
yeah.
everybody. This is crazy to say, Randy. I really like what the Jets are doing. Like they have so many assets for 2027. And I guess 2027 is just fucking loaded.
They do have a lot of assets. Yeah, it seems like they were both collecting assets and just, like, throwing a bunch of shit at the wall this year,
And yeah,
which
it's not,
maybe is
not
the
anything they're gonna
best
have to stick
strategy.
with long term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm fascinated to see what the Rams do over the next, they're both all in on this year, but then also do they take a quarterback, at some
Right.
point there? Like that, God, like, can you imagine a better situation for a Ty Simpson to, sit behind Stafford for a year?
That I mean,
Stafford
that would be
rides off into
great.
the sunset. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I like Ty Simpson. He's pretty raw still, but I like him going somewhere where, like, I think he can make all the reads, and I think he,
He's yeah, he's just if you need him to be like a plug and play guy from day one, he's probably
yeah.
not. I mean, I don't think
So
he's that.
I'm fascinated to see where Jeremiah Love goes. He's a
I know.
complete bomb threat, probably the best player in the draft, but obviously positional value and all that. Like you said, like the Caleb Downs, like see if people are spooked by his knee or what on that front. Not a very good offensive lineman, first round at least. Um,
No.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I keep seeing the Bengals get mocked, but Peter Woods, the defensive lineman that's
Oh
kind of
god.
slipped from Clemson,
Yeah. Well, I hope
he
not.
seems like a
Not at 10.
somebody that you'd love to get in like middle of the second round.
Yeah.
I've seen the Delane, the kid, Mansour Delane, the kid from LSU. I'm probably mispronouncing his last name, but the corner.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Jags have, I mean, Randy, I'm locked in on like the third round. Jags have a bunch of third,
You're
fourth, fifth rounders.
you're hunting up that value.
Yeah, I'm trying to just cook with those compensatory picks.
Oh no, we'll have so much more NFL draft stuff. So I am excited though, TC. Great time of just the sports calendar right now.
Agree, agree.
It's
Also,
fabulous.
we got to get comment from Neil about his guy Scatabo. Uh,
Mm.
had some really concerning stuff to say about what CTE.
CTE and it was CTE and something else. Yeah, just tough. I hope he was joking. I think he was joking, but just didn't land.
Yeah.
Not a good joke.
All right. Well, that'll do it for today. It's just a
What
Tuesday
an
in our
episode,
circuit.
TC. I'm not sure they'll hang this one in our Trap Draw Hall of Fame, but I did enjoy
No,
it. I had a
I mean,
good time.
I've been in a fucking blender since this morning when I woke up and I saw that Tommy Fleetwood was signing with BlackRock or Blackstone.
Blackstone. God, that's tough, TC. That is
I mean,
really,
going from like
really
the
tough.
most lovable, like rating the pro shop at wherever the tournament was each week to doing a
Mm.
activation around him signing with Blackstone, and it
The
just really,
ugliest hat imaginable, if that's what it's
yeah, it's
actually
just
gonna
not a
look
good looking
like.
hat to begin with either.
Yeah.
So still kind of working my way through that one. That was tough this morning.
Well, thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to Rhoback. Thank you to Gruns. And next week is going to be a special Project Anyo on this
Oh
here
yeah,
trap draw. Neil and DJ, they did one of these a while back. I think it was received well, and we're spurring them to do more. And so next week's episode is going to be a deep dive into a specific calendar year with Neil and DJ. So that will be a fun one.
can we spoil the year?
That's up to you. I'm going to
I
leave
think
that
we
one up to
can.
you. I don't know.
1959.
Okay, there it is.
Which, speaking of Cuba, right? Big
It
kind
is.
of time
Absolutely.
frame there, and yeah,
Yeah.
just a lot going on in that kind of
Yeah.
post-war late 50s stretch.
Yeah. So, all right,
Okay.
TC, let's get out of here.
Thanks, Randy. See you, my man.
Cheers.